Okay, this part features me executing a strategy that I just like to call the Fury Trick, or the Fury Lure. Now, most of the first half of this part just consists of me trying to do this, so I've cut out most of the enemy phases because they're all pretty boring. Basically, they're just various people getting attacked by Meteor. Right here, though, is possibly the first time I've had to use Claude's Recover Staff. I mean, interestingly, he doesn't really need it because of his absurdly high magic stat, but anyway. So, basically, this strategy involves staying where you are with the rest of your army, but having Fury fly as far southwest as possible. And just from this position, just have her keep flying south. She might get attacked by a few Meteor Mages, but it will all be worth it in the end. Of course, if she's not at a decent level, then it could be a bit problematic, so I don't really suggest doing this if you haven't trained her. But if you have, it's really useful because it saves you having to get attacked a lot. Well, you'll see why. Of course, though this is probably a terrible strategy if you're just going for turn count. So, in that case, it would probably be best to just kill these Meteor Mages and rush through the desert. Which is a bit of an oxymoron, actually. Of course, remembering here to equip the weapon that gives her the best evasion. And make sure she's not in range of any of the archers. Otherwise, things are going to end very, very badly. Abrupt transition, but I basically just cut out the enemy phase there and cut to the next turn. Yeah, she's just got to keep flying south. But just be sure she doesn't get into the range of too many Meteor Mages. Right, don't fly in there just yet, just keep going down here. Now that means she's not in range of those two. And now this phase of the plan is almost complete. For the final touch, she has to fly into a certain position. Okay, just, yeah, around here-ish. So she won't get attacked by too many enemies, but so that it's enough to lure Reptor's army into moving. We'll have to survive another Meteor Assault. But I mean, unless any of your characters have been severely weakened and you've really forgotten to heal, it's not really much of a problem. Yes, a few of these will attack Fury, but it will be worth it in the end. Please miss. No. By the way, never say that when you're playing a Fire Emblem game. I find that always totally jinxes it. You also don't say, I really, really hope this guy doesn't critical me when they have a 1 or 2% chance of criticalling, because they probably will in that case. Anyway. Okay, so this will provoke his whole army into moving. Unfortunately, they're a little bit unorganised, and they move in a very obscure fashion, as you'll see over the course of the following turns. It's really quite bizarre to watch. There doesn't seem to be any kind of logical structure in their movement. But now... Now, here it is. This is the reason why I said don't kill any of the Meteor Mages. Because, yes, as you see here, in a rather interesting twist, Alphys' troops have betrayed Reptor and have turned on him, and now they essentially become allies. And yes, they won't attack you anymore. So you can safely, now, you can safely go through the desert without having to worry. Of course, Reptor's army, on the other hand, they're now going to be on the receiving end of what we were for the past, I don't know, maybe 10 turns. Which is pretty funny to watch. So yeah, now, just go ahead and advance. Making sure Sigurd and Levin are at the front, of course. Of course, you don't want to go too far away from Finora, because it's probably going to be your main source of rearranging items in preparation for the second generation. Okay, something I cut out, I had you give Claude all his gold just so I could repair the reserve staff. Although I'll probably be using it a fair few times over the course of the next few turns. Not really sure why I did that, but... Anyway. Now, there is a certain really cheap strategy you can use, but it's incredibly boring to watch, so... I won't be showing that here. Basically... You can simply stand where you are and wait for Reptor's army to come to you. Of course, the desert is going to slow them down an enormous amount. And it'll take them about 30 turns to get to you. And by that time, his whole army will have been completely wiped out by meteor attacks. I love how that guy just jumps the meteor. Now, of course, the problem here is that, yes, the Frege army will fight back. So, a few of the Meteor Mages may die. But they will probably weaken his army enough for it to be significantly easier once they get to you. I mean, like I was saying, you can let them do all the work. But that's pretty boring. Yes, I kind of forgot, since I last played this game, that, yeah, the Frege units will fight back. So the Javelin armors will probably kill a couple of the mages. Of course, there is one more thing you need to do for this strategy to fully work though, and I'll be showing that in the next part. Although you might be able to guess it from something that happens towards the end of this one. Of course, unfortunately, thunder has the advantage over fire. Of course, I don't know if it's been implied in the story yet, but Frege, their specialty is thunder magic. And yes, this is it right here. The High Priest has a reserve staff and is healing the damage his army takes from the meteors. So basically, that guy has got to go. I'll show that in the next part.